Hi, I'm Jessica Knoll, and I'm about to give Marie Claire a peek into my personal library. The first book that was recommended to me by my mom was The Bell Jar. I was home for Thanksgiving one year, and I was bored out of my mind. I didn't want to watch football. And she said, "You read The Bell Jar?" And I hadn't, and I was probably about 29 years old. I read it in about 5 or 6 hours. I didn't go to sleep until I finished it. It has the kind of propulsion that a thriller has, in my opinion. I absolutely love her voice of Esther Greenwood. This story is a heartbreaker. I reread it time and time again and just absolutely adore it. Next, I have really become obsessed with Flynn Berry. She is my new Gillian Flynn until Gillian Flynn comes out with her next book. I read it after reading Northern Spy, which was a Reese Witherspoon book club pick, and I was like, who is this writer? I need to read everything she's ever written. I absolutely adore her writing. It's creepy, it's sharp, and it has this subtle, quiet anger to it, which I love my female writers to be angry. It's one of the things that draws me to books and draws me to voices. So this is a must. It's always on my desk when I'm trying to write myself, anytime I need some inspiration for my own prose. Susanna Moore in the cut talk about something that is just quietly angry and quietly erotic, maybe even not so quietly erotic. I keep describing In the Cut as like a nasty little book. Do not read it if you don't have a strong stomach, but if you're like me and you like the dark stuff, you will absolutely devour this. It's super short, really slim little read. I had to go back and watch the Meg Ryan movie after I read it, and then I went back and read it again. She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. I adore the voice of Dolores. I heard Wally Lamb say in an interview once that her voice just came to him in the shower. And I think I read that interview when I was trying to craft the voice of Ani in my debut novel, Luckiest Girl Alive. And I immediately had to pick this up and see what it was all about. And I just absolutely was drawn to Dolores, to her story, to her perspective on the world, her dark sense of humor. Love, love, love this. Lastly, have to include my newest, Bright Young Women. It's a fictional reimagining of the last murderous spree of Ted Bundy, one of our country's most famous serial killers. But I give it back to the women in this book. I tell the story from their perspective, and the title, Bright Young Women, comes from the remarks that the judge made at Ted Bundy's sentencing trial, where he lamented the tragedy of all this was not the women who had lost their futures and their lives, but that Ted Bundy had lost his, that he had a lot of talent, that he would have loved to have seen him practice in the courtroom in front of him, but instead he went another way, and he was a bright young man. And as soon as I heard that, I knew I had to steal it and give it back to the women. My favorite genre is obviously thrillers. It's what I like to read, and it's what I like to write. Is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. It was supposed to be a movie in the 90s, and Gwyneth Paltrow was supposed to play the Camille part, and I guess it all fell through. But I think we should make another play. We should push to get this made because it's one of my all-time favorite books. Who gives the best book recommendations? Probably my mom. My mom has really good book recommendations. Probably reading Happiness Falls by Angie Kim. I absolutely loved it. I loved her first one too, Miracle Creek. My fictional book crush, Mr. Darcy, obviously. Diesel in Brentwood. It's in the Brentwood Country Mart. It's such a lovely Saturday to go there, get your coffee at Farm Shop, and go browse the shelves at Diesel. It's my happy place.